This is the Washington Times front page for Wednesday, April 10th, 2024. Thanks for joining us. I'm George Gerbo. The Justice Department's Pandemic Fraud Task Force has recovered $1.4 billion in pandemic funds seized or forfeited from people who defrauded the government. Stephen Dinan reports authorities say they've brought federal charges against more than 3,500 people, accounting for about $2 billion in civil losses. They've reached more than 400 civil settlements and judgments while recovering $1.4 billion. That number, however, is estimated to be less than 1% of the total lost to theft. A new bill in Congress includes funding for identity verification systems that can help large federal agencies identify actual recipients. The legislation would also make permanent the data operation at the center of the current recovery effort. Businesses inside the District of Columbia expect to be worse off financially in 6 months than companies elsewhere in the region and nation, according to a new survey. Sean Salai reports the nonpartisan D.C. Policy Center found 73% of the 91 businesses surveyed predicted Washington's economy would worsen. 13% said it would hardly change, and 14% said it would be somewhat stronger. That's compared to only 29% who expect the national economy to be somewhat or much weaker. The survey also found that 4 in 10 D.C. businesses expect gross revenues to be somewhat or much lower in the next 6 months, even though most said they were not considering laying off employees. Things are starting to look up, or at least a little less gloomy, for President Biden's reelection hopes. Seth MacLachlan reports the president has stayed competitive in polling and raked in tons of money that is helping him expand his footprint in battleground states and air more ads. Biden has led or been tied in a hypothetical head-to-head matchup with Donald Trump in 7 of the last 10 national surveys, according to a running tally by Real Clear Politics. And, much like in 2020, close to half of his supporters in a recent Bloomberg poll said their vote is more against Trump than for Biden. Republicans are trying to change Nebraska's electoral college system to award all of its votes to the winner of the state instead of the current split via its congressional districts. Nebraska is one of 2 states that awards electoral college votes based partly on the winners of individual congressional districts. 3 of the Cornhusker State's 5 electoral votes are awarded to the winner in each of its 3 districts. 2 more are awarded to the presidential candidate who wins the most votes statewide. Susan Ferricchio reports the system, signed into state law in 1991, could decide the 2024 presidential election by a single electoral college vote, according to some projections. Nebraska Republican Governor Jim Pillen supports the change, but hasn't indicated he'll call a special session to try to change it. Maine is the other state that uses a similar system, and it allowed Donald Trump in both 2016 and 2020 to win one of the predominantly Democratic states' electoral college votes. And finally, a new study by Pentagon space experts believes the United States risks losing a space race with China unless changes are made to ally and strengthen domestic space industries. Bill Gertz reports the study from Space Force, Air Force Research Laboratory, and Defense Innovation Unit experts says that current U.S. space systems and programs are becoming dominated by private sector high-tech companies. A major problem for the country is what the report calls bureaucratic inefficiency that is stifling innovation and competitiveness. Space companies recently informed Congress they're building new technologies faster than the federal government can license systems using the information in satellites or rockets. Find all today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or on the Washington Times app, and find us wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find us on social media at Wash Times for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.
For lunch or late night, the cheesy goodness of a quesadilla hits the spot. Amigos invites you to try the bold, fresh flavors of our new Southwest quesadillas. We start with a zesty salsa tortilla that's stuffed with pepper jack and cheddar cheese. Then we add your choice of marinated steak, grilled chicken, or Southwest chicken. The secret ingredient that makes it better than any other quesadilla? Amigos Ranch. As a snack or a meal, grab the new Southwest quesadilla at Amigos.